when you're darker.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
And this is where I like circle the moon while you get off and take the first steps for mankind. And I just try to keep
One small
I try
step.
to keep everyone busy orbiting the moon. Does everybody look at me? Why the wonderful Janine does the button she needs to do. So
But here's
I'll
what's
do that.
cool. Okay. I just want
Yeah.
to make this clear. It just came up live now. That's how long it takes. Do you know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
gosh.
So
Yeah.
the live it's not as quick as you would think, All right. So I'm going to move this while you chit chat. Mary Grace, how was your weekend?
What did we just do over the weekend? Oh, well, it's unseasonably hot, as I know it is where you are as well. It just really saps it out of you, you know. The only good, oh, we have people joining us. The only good place to be is in a pool.
I agree. Do you have one?
No.
In your community? I didn't know if you had one in your community.
No, but I know people.
Yeah, we all know people. We know people. I have to say, we spend time at the lake from Thursday to Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when it's hot, I'm like, God, if the lake was here, I would just jump right in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not the opportunity. Oh, Kim Bain is on. Hi, Kim. How are you? Thank you so much for joining.
I feel like this shirt you can't really see as well, but I'm really getting a lot of wear out of this Everest necklace.
Do you like it?
I do. I really like it. I really like it a lot.
I'm just going to copy in here. So we have the Google Doc is at the top of the Grace and Grit Studio page, as well as the top of the Grace and Grit.
We're just getting all the places we need to do. Kim Bain, I know you're just in comments. Do you have a favorite piece? Do you have a favorite piece, Janine?
Phoebe.
Isn't that a cute one?
This needs to, and I'm, hoping the Park Lane gods hear me. This needs to come in silver also. That is.
I heard you.
Okay, you're one of the gods. I think that ring is just sensational. So yeah, no, the new Woodland collection. I mean, there's not a piece I don't like. I mean, how does that happen? And and I say that with and 2 minutes, 20 seconds, that's how long it takes us. So we have to figure out fluff for 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
But what I have to say is though, that with that particular collection, I mean, just one piece is more beautiful than the next. And the build on the pieces, like the fact that we were just talking about this on our coffee chat on Friday, is that this whole collection, like literally tells a story, and it all works together. It weaves in and out of each other. So I find this collection fascinating. I think it's beautiful.
Yes, and I love how there's so much versatility, and they're not necessarily all connected. They're like separate, because some people are not good at that, like me.
Yes, and the Ranger.
Kim's talking motor issues.
Yeah, I hear you. Kim's talking about the Ranger, but the first one that she said is the Freya necklace, and we had heard from our style guru Jackie about this necklace and how it truly is very designer inspired and comes in this beautiful color as well as a bright red. So many options for so many different people. And hey, we got a ton of people watching, so let's chit chat.
That makes me so happy. That makes me happier than the new collection.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. That's how long it takes us. So here's what we're going to do tonight.
Thanks for putting up with us, guys. And here we go.
Hope you all appreciate us. Here's what we're going to chat about tonight, guys. It's storming here in Du Bois, Iowa. Did I say that right? Du Bois? I don't know if I said that right. Hi, Jean. How are you? Lynette, hello. Thanks for joining us. So if you are here, drop us a comment. Let us know you're here. My name is Janine, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Mary Grace, our executive company vice president. And she is going to answer 4 very simple questions about really direct sales and what we do for a living. And what I ask that you do tonight, and what we want you to do, is just use a very listening ear and an open heart when you hear what we have to say. Because this opportunity could be for you, or it could be for somebody that you just recently spoke to this past weekend who needs a blessing in their life, quite honestly. So we implore you to get back in touch with your stylist, the person that invited you to come. And after you hear all these things, you have questions you can ask, and there's going to be a questionnaire you can fill out. And once you fill that out, somebody's going to get to win free jewelry. Now, if you're watching this on the Grace and Grit Studio business page on Facebook, we ask that you like and follow the page. but also click that share button and share this on your walls because we're going to do an extra drawing for the gals who shared. So Mary Grace, it is Monday. Let's get started. Let's start with our favorite question because you answer it different every time. And so I love you. I just love it. And the question is, and a lot of people ask this, why direct sales?
The answer should always be the same, but I just think of so many other things, and
Similar,
I'm already, and my mind was already going like, one of my favorite words in the English language is serendipity. I just think that's such a cute word. And it means finding good fortune as if by accident. And I think like so many of us fall into direct sales by serendipity, by accident. Maybe somebody all of a sudden had this pop up, or they went to a show and it looked fun or whatever. And that's what happened to me. Had I Would I actually have ever gone looking for direct sales with the noise in my head and people saying things like, isn't that one of those pyramid schemes or whatever? I don't think so. So it was such serendipity that I just was able to try direct sales and figure out what a perfect match it was for my lifestyle. So all direct sales means is direct to consumer. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not one of those things where you try to get all your friends to sign up. It just
right?
means that we serve as a liaison between the company and the customer, which is actually kind of a lost art right now. So we have all of the advantages of running our own business with none of the overhead and none of the risk. And I love to tell a story. If people are on here week after week, they may or may not get sick of this story. I'm not sure. But I just love that David Bach is one of our biggest
Right.
fans. David Bach wrote The Automatic Millionaire. You may or may not have heard of him, you guys, but it was on the bestseller list forever. And he came up with such a simple plan how everyday people, well, like me, Janine's never been an everyday person. She's so special. But how everyday people can become
Subliminal, yeah.
millionaires in a relatively short time by just investing a certain amount of money per month, translates probably in today's world $500-600. Okay. What David Bach did when he started to roll out this plan to people, he was so super stoked to show them the exponential growth and everything. And he said, "Oh my gosh, the wind just went right out of his sails because people practically laughed in his face." And he realized that here in the United States of America, probably all across the world, that people weren't living paycheck to paycheck. They were living beyond paycheck
Right.
to paycheck. And I bet you bunches of you out there are feeling this way because when I started direct sales, I certainly was. We certainly had carried balances on our credit cards and stuff. And if we had an extra $500 a month, it was going to go to do something really special or be in our emergency fund or pay down some of that debt, not to invest. And he said he discovered direct sales and he just thought, oh my gosh, this is the be all and end all. Because if you were to go to look for a way to make that kind of money consistently every month, it generally would involve some kind of big upset to your life, to your family, and
Yeah.
you working when someone else tells you to work.
Right.
With direct sales, it's you guys, we decide. We decide when and if we're going to work. We decide how much money we need to make. We decide when we need a break. We decide when we need to like even go for more. We can work at a very little or we can work at a very lot. It's like totally up to us. So I just think it's one of the most wonderful things in the world and that everybody should try it because there is something that you can do with that money. You're going to leave with more than you came with, right? So it's been a wonderful, wonderful gift
Big
to
time.
our family.
The
Mhm.
fact that you opened again with something new and serendipity is the true testament to who you are. We could talk about these 4 questions for hours, I bet, and you would not be at a loss for words.
No,
That's
because I
how
love what I do.
passionate.
Mhm.
Right, that's how passionate you are. I was explaining the sale to somebody this weekend up at our lake house, and my cousin turned to me and went, "You're really passionate about that." And I'm like, I am. Like, I wanna make sure they get the best deal,
Yep.
you
And
know?
I'm here
So
to tell you right now the part I am most passionate about, which I didn't even start this business for, is sharing it with other people.
right,
There is no reason for anyone to ever be feeling anxious about money or how they're going to do something when something like this is available to them, and we're there to help them. It's just amazing. I love it.
So now that you chit chatted about David Bach, how much we love him, and his wisdom from years ago. I mean,
Yeah,
that came out in the '80s. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So now we know what direct sales is. So how does jewelry fit into that whole plan of direct sales?
Oh yeah, I mean, direct sales is I mean, it's even a major, at some colleges. I think it's a major at Harvard University now, direct sales, entrepreneurialism. There's
Okay.
other products that you could represent. In fact, just a little bit of a segue, but I used to represent another product, another company, and so did Janine, and
Mhm.
so did many of our leader team, because Park Lane is the only direct sales company that is professional enough to do what other big companies do, which is recognize people's experience, you know? So it's like we worked all those years and
Yep.
developed all those skills. We don't want to start over any place else. So it was wonderful. So Park Lane will bring you into this company with pay and a title commensurate with your experience. I just
Mhm.
want to fit that in there because that's a big obstacle for some people. And you may know somebody that's in direct sales, and what they would just eat this up. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to lose anything. I can go right over. But anyway, so I didn't do jewelry. You didn't do jewelry. And I
Okay.
literally am one of those people that used to think, who would sell jewelry? I wasn't a very I was really wasn't a very girly girl. I loved clothes, but I didn't really wear a lot of jewelry. I didn't do a lot of accessorizing. So, but when I heard about, Park Lane and stuff, and I thought, okay, I want to look at their programs and stuff, I also learned the story of the Levine family. And the
Wow.
Levine family, you guys were a family owned company, and it's been around since 1955. More on that later. But in 1955, the people that were starting the company, they were so smart. They were way smarter than I would have been, because I wasn't this smart the first time. I just chose a product that I loved. I thought that looks fun. I love it. What they did is they said, we know we're going to use the direct sales model. And they said, but we don't know what product. We better get some help. So they hired consulting companies, three of
Mhm.
them. All three, they met with them at different times. None of the three knew that the others were out there doing the same job for them. And they said, go out into the world and do your homework, choose what products you think we should represent, rate them, one to whatever, and be ready to defend your answers. And
Yeah.
much to the Levine's absolute shock, which is so funny because now they're so successful, jewelry came back as number one across the board. All of the other answers varied, and they were like, oh, they were just very taken aback, and they're like, okay, defend your answers. And that these are the reasons that jewelry are so wonderful. Now, 14 years ago when I started here, you would just be taking my word for it. Now I've lived it. So I totally would, you know, put my life on the line to back up any of these. But jewelry is just such a phenomenal product to represent. Okay, first of all, everyone's wearing our product. Not everyone, but after I've been around them, but like I'm wearing my product, my customers are wearing my product. People across the nation, across the world are wearing our product. What happens when they wear our product? People compliment them or start conversations, and we get referrals back. So what a gift to have our product out there walking around in the world. It's
Right.
fantastic. As a generality, but jewelry's been around forever. It's been around since BC and before, and it's projected and forecasted to go. The amount that it's supposed to grow in the next years is just absolutely off the charts. So it withstands the test of time. The market is absolutely humongous. I mean, really, everybody wears some kind of accessory or has at one time or another, right? And if they don't, then other people that they know do, because it's one of the top three gifts in the world: candy, flowers, and jewelry.
Mhm.
Now, from our vantage point here as reps, I used to have to carry so much stuff, didn't you, in my other
Oh,
job? Now, our jewelry
a lot.
mostly, 78% of our people just do strictly online. So you just have your little thing and you hold it up or whatever. But it can fit in something the size of your purse if you want to run out and show people jewelry. So it's
Mhm.
very inexpensive to ship and store. My other stuff used to make my husband crazy. It took up a whole garage. This
Yeah.
is like nothing. So the advantages are really just so many of them. And it's a feel good product. It's one of the only products, jewelry is, that sales go up in economic hard times. And it's also not a seasonal product. I used to sell candles, and every summer we'd be like, oh, better better have our mortgage payments in the
The
bank.
milk. Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
No.
Jewelry is very consistent because
Mhm,
it changes, and it's considered consumable, Janine. It
mhm.
changes. Fashion's considered consumable. It changes with products. I mean, I'm sorry, outfits,
Yep.
trends,
Seasons. Yep.
seasons. Yeah, all of that. So it's pretty amazing.
What I find amazing is the comment that you said about in economic times, in down economic times, we do not falter. And that is true because during the C word, we all had such great businesses because people were home, they were in work on Zoom and they were looking at themselves in a camera. So they
Yeah.
wanted to have something pretty going on up here.
Yes.
So I find that fascinating. I find that the whole story of our
Mhm.
company and the fact that, jewelry was picked and they've really stood the test of time. They've changed
Oh yeah.
and grown to help all of us. So I find that
Yeah.
just fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so, now that I started with that, I apologize. So you told us, where jewelry fits in. So how does Park Lane fit into that model of direct sales? Like, where do
Yeah,
we
I mean, okay, so once you decide jewelry, there's other jewelry companies out there in direct sales.
right,
What I have found, what I have lived actually, is first of all, we are the only full service jewelry company. So I was approached right at the same time that I found out about Park Lane by another jewelry company, and I had a relationship with the president, so it was very tempting.
yeah,
Um, but in the end, I chose Park Lane, and she said if she'd been in my shoes, she would have done the same exact thing. Isn't it interesting?
interesting.
But people can't afford to do what we do because we've been around since 1955 and we're cash rich and debt free. So
Mhm,
our programs are the richest in the industry.
right,
But the jewelry is also the most diverse. So that was one main reason before I really could see that they weren't going to ever let us down monetarily or anything. But it's like the other company, beautiful stuff. All of them are. I'm never going to cut down a company, but they usually have a very slim certain market, you know? So maybe it's all silver. Maybe it's just charms. Maybe it's
right,
just pearls. Maybe it's just
right.
Swarovski crystals. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's limiting. When you go to something like Park Lane, we have, 6 or 7 different types of trends or looks within our jewelry line, and there's something for everyone. So that was very appealing to me. Also, the price points are very appealing. We have anything from just like 20 something dollars, up to beautiful, more expensive jewelry that they can get for a deal. The programs, like other companies can't afford to do what we do because we've been around so long and we've been very smart. When I say we, as if I had anything to do with it, we're so lucky I didn't have anything to do with it. I would just be giving everything away. I'm so glad other
Okay.
people are in charge of the financial security of our company because they've done a wonderful, wonderful job. But again, when I was thinking about that other company, I was like, you know, I, I now I know. I have something to compare. I've heard about Park Lane's programs. How can I go with all my passion and delight to share with people when now I know there was something that was better. I know,
Right,
and I don't
right.
mean that across all the fields. I'm saying that just in such a way that the
Yeah,
programs are the richest. So the customers, yeah, like you said the other day, you were so excited to tell a friend, but it's like, not only is it like so cool that they get to buy two for regular, get four for half, their two regular should be their least expensive, but that is a very easy sale to repeat. And it's one that
mhm.
other people get excited about. Therefore, the whole word of mouth thing is super powerful. I have people any given month just out
Very
collecting
much so.
orders. Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah. And then there's a host program, which we do a lot online, but still the way that it works is even if I said to you, like, Janine, let's do like something online like this, but let's get about 4 or 5 other people on the Zoom too, or whatever, or on the Facebook party or in a messenger thing or whatever, then you're the host. Then you introduce me to your friends and family. See, we don't pay stores overhead to show their products. Like
No,
if you go into a Macy's and there's a Clinique counter, Clinique is paying Macy's for the real estate, right? So we don't
right.
pay for any place to show our jewelry. So we pay our hostesses and we pay them in free product. And it's again the most generous in the industry. Our average host gets anywhere from 300, mostly always more than that.
A lot.
300 to 1,000 and free and discounted jewelry. It's just absolutely off the charts. Now, I'm just going to ask you guys for a second because I want you to connect the dots here. Is it really good for us that the programs are so rich? Yes, because do you remember when I started with the fact that people wear their jewelry? Do we want them with one piece of jewelry,
No.
which is usually what they can afford at a jewelry party? Or do we want them with 6 because they did the sale or 20 because they were the host, right? So all of this again comes back to us, and it's just
Right.
like people just get all excited about it. And then of course the profit program. I mean, most of us do this for the money. We find a lot of other things that it does for us, but it's a part-time job or gig, or full-time, and we do it for the money. If we're going to spend our time on something, we may as well be with the company that pays the most generously. So the average fashion stylist starts at 30%. My last company was 20. I don't know what yours was. We go all the way to 50% very quickly. A lot of people come in at that level depending on their experience, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Every week when I look at my check, there's extra bonuses for this and that and that. And our CEO is, he really looks at
Very
us
generous.
as
Yeah.
family, and I know that's probably hard to believe, but
It's true.
once you live it, like, and he gets so excited for us. So other companies maybe have one incentive trip a year. We have 2. We just learned that our next one is Switzerland, if you guys get in on that. So usually European and beach twice a year. We have a car program. And I almost was going to start with this, is when you were saying how excited you get about the jewelry, as do I. You guys, the best way to even get the jewelry for yourself is to be a rep. Because imagine you take
True.
advantage of the sale.
Mm-hmm.
You're the hostess, right? So you get that
Yeah.
too. And then you get a paycheck every week
Right. Right.
for minimum 30% back on what you just bought.
Mm-hmm.
It's and we don't have quotas. So people just worry about that. Like, we don't have minimums. We don't have a certain amount you have to do every month or anything. So truly, I'm sharing a little secret with you that it's like the biggest friends and family discounts. Kind of silly not to do it.
I was just thinking that. I was
Yeah.
just thinking that. I'm sitting here thinking, what's your favorite store to shop in? I mean, can you imagine if they said to you, bring a couple friends one night, we'll serve a little wine and cheese, right? I mean, seriously. And yeah, go ahead and take a little sip because I can hear you.
Yeah.
But we'll serve a little wine and cheese, whatever they buy, we're going to give you a kickback on.
Right.
Okay. And then for an entire year, you can have a 30% discount, and we'll even do a website for you.
Yeah.
And let you share it with your friends even more all through the seasons. I mean, that's really what the basis of what it is.
It's crazy talk.
When you break it down. Okay, so now that we got into this part, let's get into the why now, because now we always talk why now, and we always say now's the best time. But why is now the best time?
Yeah, it really now is always the best time. You know how I feel about that. I truly do. I just think, if you're here now and there's that little excited feeling in your stomach,
Yeah.
it's the time. People, successful people don't talk themselves out of things. They just lean in. And once they hear what the risks are, if there are any, they just think, okay, I'm not going to not do this. I know the double negative. I'm not going to not do this because of something that could happen. And think how often we do that. Like, well, what if this? Well, what if this? Well, maybe when this happens. No, successful people just lean in and they learn it as they go. And we're here. We have everything you would ever need in a million years to be successful. We take you seriously, and well, not too seriously. We have a lot of fun, but we make sure that we have all of the things that you need in order to be successful. But that being said, it also is a great time to start because we just dropped our new line, like literally, like a week ago, less than a week ago. Is this Monday? Less than a week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah. So some of and we just got our hands on a lot of it. So, the first people to be able to show the new line, it doesn't matter how many shows. If you guys have been regulars, doesn't matter. Everybody wants to see the new stuff now, and you can be the one to show it. They've got all this beautiful new stuff. Okay. I mean, if I have time, I want to tell this one thing that I think is so cool.
You
I
have
had a
time.
girlfriend that ran 3 different boutiques in California, high end, like Rodeo Drive kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
She said to me once, Mary Grace, when things were on sale or people were getting a discount, what do you think it was that was on sale and they were getting a discount on? right?
Old
The size 00 that nobody could wear, the things that had rips, the size, the color that no one in a million years would buy. And here at Park Lane, we just unleashed this line, and your customers and you have the capability to get the most elegant, coveted pieces for like $35, with the sale and stuff. Not only that, but you as a rep, you guys that are thinking about it out there, normally it's $500. Right now they're doing $700 worth of free jewelry for
Mhm.
$129. $700 worth of jewelry, you guys, to get the newest stuff that just hit the presses. It's like unbelievable. And not only does that 129 pay for your jewelry, but it's basically your ticket into anything that you need here. Your own personal website, the fact that Park Lane doesn't charge credit card stuff, they do all that.
No
I mean,
fees.
I dare you to start a business for $129, much less get to pick out $700 of the product you're going to represent. It's absolutely amazing. And of course, that $129 is an immediate tax write-off, which is another huge advantage of running your own business, is the tax write-off. So yeah,
Mhm.
there we go. Whole nother conversation next
It
week.
is a whole nother conversation, but it's important. It's important to recognize the fact that for $129, you can get $700 in jewelry and basically a turnkey business. You can literally walk in
Yeah.
and start right away. And Mary Grace, what's the one thing we ask them to do if they want to sign
Well,
up?
we
What's
want
the
you to be
one thing?
successful, and we want to be able to help you. And the best way for us to help you get a jump start is to have like what we call um a promotional party,
Promotional
if you
party.
will.
Mhm.
So it can be online, it could be in real life, it can be however you're most comfortable, but whoever invited you to this call will facilitate the party for you. And you're watching them differently because now you're going to be the lady or the guy, that is doing it. So you're watching them a little bit differently than you ever have as a customer. But also, even though we're doing it, everything we do is for you. Everything we do is for you. So in addition to the $700 worth of jewelry that you got for the 129, you also can take advantage of the hostess benefit. Anybody that goes, "Oh my gosh, I love Park Lane, I want to be a customer," it's your customer now. Anybody that says, "I want to have my own show online or in person," that's your show now. And you get paid. That is highly unusual. In my last company, when someone had their big starting party, we used to call them, they didn't get paid. They just got the product. With
Oh,
Park Lane, you
interesting.
get it up. You also get paid. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't
So
even
it's
remember if
yeah.
we did or didn't. I imagine
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny because I think people lose sight of that. They think, "Oh my gosh," they already go to the negative. They think they can't do this, they can't be like us, they can't this, they can't. Stop with the can't and the won't. Just try it. Try a promotional party with your stylist. You know what's the worst that could happen? You decide you don't want to do it when you're done, and you're still the host and get to reap the benefit of the beautiful new line of the
Yes.
new
And we're a little mean. If yes, I'm very cruel. If you try Park Lane, I do make you keep the jewelry and I
oh,
make you
how
keep the
terrible.
money.
Right? What's the thing
Yes,
that you said years ago? And I think you've brought it back a couple times, but that you leave with more than you came.
absolutely. There's
Mhm.
no question. You will absolutely leave with more than you came with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Nobody leaves Park Lane never leaves people worse than they found them.
yeah.
So, and I really think, unfortunately, in today's world, that's one of the biggest fears, is there someone's trying to do something to me, like pull with something over me on me and
Well,
stuff.
and that's where the hesitation comes in.
Yeah.
That's where the hesitation comes in because people have that trepidation because they think that somebody's trying to pull the wool over their eyes. But we
Yeah.
have hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah.
stylists that you can talk to, hundreds of leaders who have come from other direct sales companies. You
Yes.
talk about this all the time. Our
Yes.
organization has hundreds of years of
Thousands.
experience,
Yes.
if not
Yes.
more, in the
Yes.
direct sales genre. All of us came from other
And don't you
companies.
think I'd have an awful lot of people awful mad at me if everything I was
Yeah.
just saying wasn't true?
And we actually like her, so you're all good. We would like to put our life on the line for her,
I've
okay?
never gotten hate mail, but I have gotten thank you notes for people.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you know what, Mary Grace, thank you so much, and I appreciate the people that are on. I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully I have this still copied. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in here just to have
Yeah.
it for everyone. There's the Google Doc. Fill it out. You have 24 hours to fill that out.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
I'll pick a winner.
And
You guys,
um,
I can't thank you enough for joining us. And honestly, like when I do this every week, I can see the names in the little heads, and I'm like, I wonder which of these people I'll end up like knowing really well. I wonder which ones of these people are going to end up like being one of our reps, and I'll see them on a trip. And it's just the potential and the possibilities are absolutely fascinating. So, congratulations on being here and listening. And we will see you hopefully on our team. Bye,
thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Bye bye.